Total Recall for me shared quite a lot of memories in my eye because it was one of the first films when I was young that I watched that wasn't a Disney, movie or something that was made for kids. So this was kind of like the very first R-rated film that I ever watched, and I absolutely love it, even still love it to this day. But now Hollywood have to feel the need to remake literally anything that came out of the 80s, 90s or whatnot, and now they've done it to Total Recall. And to what I've heard, right, I know that people were sort of bitching about, oh, this doesn't go to Mars, it's going to be utter, shite or whatnot. But actually I've heard that the book that the film's based on, it doesn't actually go to Mars. So maybe it's been a bit more accurate to the book. But from my opinion, I'm actually going to just review this as a standalone film as much as I can. Now, the story is basically the same as the Arnold Schwarzenegger film, Douglas Clay wakes up, he has this dream, that reoccurring dream. He goes to recall, tries to implant a sort of memory as like a sort of secret agent, because they can also do westerns, make you feel like an astronaut, billionaire, athlete, whatnot. But something kind of happens and all these police guys, but this is where it kind of changes actually, because all these police guys then kind of show up, they want to arrest him, they kill all the guys there, and as he tries to sort of arrest him, Douglas Quaid kills them all, escapes, and then it goes back to his wife, and then he realises his wife is actually sort of an undercover agent, police officer or whatnot, and basically it's now he's running away from them and trying to find out what the hell is going on and why people are chasing after him and whatnot. But there's also another interesting fact with the story is, because they're not going to Mars, they change it up a little bit. So instead we have these two kind of let's say call countries and whatnot, right? We have the Federation of Britain, where this is where all the rich snobs go, and this is where everything's sort of fine, and this is what also the people from, they call it the colony, right, which is based on Australia. They all live there. It's all cramped all together. It's like trying to fit. It's like having 20 people in a small lift, kind of cramped. So it's hard to sort of move around. But they all have to. Some of them work in in this sort of area and whatnot. So you can see that they're trying to implement a good story, and it is actually quite an interesting concept and a great idea for a story. Now I'm going to say, right, all the actors in this film actually do quite a good job. Colin Farrell, he is pretty good as Douglas Quaid. He's a different version of Douglas Quaid, to be honest, but still really good. Kate Beckinsale, actually I think steals this movie entirely. She's just actually really, really good. You can tell that as soon as she's trying to kill him, her voice changes and her sort of motives are now changed. It's completely sort of wow. And Jessica Biel, yeah, she's actually really good as well. And while it's funny how they got the really two hot actresses in this film, and you're kind of saying, oh god, hard to concentrate, and I find that sort of pretty cool. What's also pretty cool is the fact even though this is a remake or whatnot, it still feels like its own film. It has its own sort of action scenes, it has its own kind of scenarios and whatnot, but it takes a lot from probably what you see from the Arnold film. It just has a couple of those sort of elements and moments in it that make you feel that this is kind of a remake, and I think that's pretty cool. They even reference the old film in a way, and this isn't later on. This is actually kind of the start of the film, so I think that was pretty sort of awesome. But I also feel as though that the start of the film kind of makes a bit more sense than the Arnold one, because at the start of the film, Quaid thinks that he's having a dream, because he has this sort of reoccurring dream and whatnot, but it's actually kind of a memory, a last living memory or something from the past or whatnot. In Arnold's version, it's more like a dream, but it doesn't really understand why he dreams about sort of that, and this certainly makes sense. So I think I give props to that. But I'm actually really going to diss the film in a way in two major things. Firstly, see if it didn't have the things that it had in the first, the Arnold film, this would have felt a total different film entirely. Completely. I mean, if it didn't have those elements, it would have been a completely different film. And I can maybe understand why, critics or reviewers are, saying what they're saying, because it can feel like a completely different film if it just didn't have those elements in it. But the other thing, this is actually the thing that was annoying me throughout the whole film, is lens flare. It's practically in every single fucking scene ever. I mean, it's smart when you use it, but it's in it like every single time, and I was getting really annoyed at that, and it's really, really irritating to kind of watch a film and you have all this stupid things going on, and I really think it's going to hurt the score for this film. And what is the score? What is my rating for this film? Well, I'm really going to have to give it a 6 out of 10. Like, I actually really like the film. I probably will buy it on Blu-ray, but it's just the fact that the lens flare was the really thing that annoyed me the most out of this film. And I just felt so this was a completely different film if it just didn't have the elements as it is. But I do think it gives the remake, or the original, justice. I mean, it gives it justice. It's a separate entity, and I think Hollywood were trying to, you know, market it for the younger generation. But that doesn't help, because Total Recall is practically on your telly every single fucking time.